What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Murph and Vish podcast. I'm here with the one, the only Murph. How you doing today, Murph?
I'm doing amazing, Vicioso. You're looking nice with your haircut, looking all sexy and that.
Oh, I'm just trying to look like you. Just trying to look like you.
Oh
Um,
no.
but yeah, we're excited to be talking with you guys today. We are on episode 11. We're talking about movies and TV today. But first off, we have to start with the one, the only Wordle. We're
Yes,
currently on
sir.
three or four streaks. But Murph has been good luck for us. So Murph, what is our first word for today?
So I'm thinking, right, either crate or bagel.
Which one do you want?
Let's shoot for bagel.
Bagel. So there's an E.
Dang it.
E, probably second letter, maybe. There's no A. Um, how? No, that's four. I know we know,
Uh,
but maybe let's try Frost just to get maybe some more information.
Sender, bud.
Okay,
Sender.
so first letter is an F. So I'm guessing it's F-E.
Field. We could try field.
Okay, I like it. Oh, so it's F-I-E something D.
FIE something D. Fiend?
Fiend? Um, there it is. Splendid. Fiend
Was
is the
fiend? Yeah, let's
word.
go.
Oh, we just ran through that one. Who would have known
Destroyed
that
that one.
that F kind of luck? We got lucky with that F.
Right?
But
Started with F, and then we went to field. Field kind of set it up, and we're set,
we're set.
Viciosus.
Again, I think the lowest we've ever done it is in three. So, still a
So,
good performance. We've been about three, four, and five every time. So, making headway. Who would have known that we would have been some of the greatest world people in the world?
right.
But today we are talking to you guys about movies and TVs. We have talked about a little bit of this, whether that's been, we had our anime episode. We've kind of talked briefly here and there on different stuff. But today we are going to be talking about it some more with you guys. So, Murph, let's start off. What is your favorite TV show or some of your favorite TV shows?
So I think for this epish, I'll leave all the anime out. Being somebody who really likes anime, I could answer all these questions with anime, but I feel like that would be no fun. So for me, I'll do. What should we do? Top three or top five?
Let's do top three. We'll do top three.
Oh, that's tough. Okay. Office is definitely number one because I
Yes, sir.
watched from season one all the way till season 12. Basically, not all those seasons every day, but I watch Office quite a bit every single day. It's like this is difficult because I'm thinking whether I should go childhood shows or I'll go with shows I still watch now. I watch The Office a lot. My mom loves Modern Family, so recently I really started to like Modern Family. And then I find myself either watching a lot of the old Rugrats episodes or the old SpongeBob episodes a lot.
Okay.
SpongeBob will always be one of my favorite shows. You know what I mean? Classic.
Oh, it is classic. Very definitely a great classic show. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of those. Any
Yes,
of those
sir. What if
options. I've never actually
you
really
tell
watched
me?
Modern Family. I've seen bits and pieces, but never really watched a lot of it. So maybe that's something I'll have to give a look at.
You gotta watch it, Vish. It's actually really funny. I didn't like it either. But actually, I'm replacing Modern Family with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I
Okay.
forgot.
Okay. Yeah, and I've watched Brooklyn, or I've seen, like I said, little bits and pieces. I've actually never watched that too, so that's something I definitely need to attempt to go
What?
through and see.
It's such a funny show, Vicious. Like I find myself actually like laughing out loud, and there were parts of it that actually made me cry laughing because it was actually very funny.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces. I think that the biggest thing I always see and pay attention to is the uh which it's
Probably the
the I
lineup
want it
scene.
that way thing.
Yeah, where he has the suspects lined up.
Yeah. Tell me
Number three.
why. Yeah, like I said, I've never watched the show, but I know that scene like from heart just because I see it all over the place all the time.
Oh,
So
that show has so many scenes that are just as good as that, bitch. Just give it a try, brother. It's such a good show.
okay, I'll definitely will. I'll definitely have to put it on my list.
Please. I hit me with your list, Viciosis. Hit me with your list.
My top three, Office is on that list.
Yes, sir.
I actually just from Prime Days, there was the complete set on DVD, so I had to pick that up. So big fan, Office, I love it. If I had another thing, I would say I like Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory is another one. I feel like
Okay.
it's kind of similar style of The Office, but a little like different. I didn't really watch that a whole lot. It wasn't until maybe the last few years that I actually started watching it. But then that's the same with The Office. I know The Office. I actually started watching it when it was not, on TV anymore. There was no episodes. It was just all on Netflix. And one day I saw it and I was like, you
Oh.
know what? I should give this a try because, I've seen and heard everyone talk about this show, but I've never done it, watched it myself. So end up watching it. Absolutely loved it. Same with Big Bang Theory. It was kind of I think it was almost over. Maybe there was one or two seasons left. I can't remember. So, but definitely was a great series as well. Um, Probably number three is one not known to as many people. It's called Chuck. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It was on NBC. What was that, around probably 2011, 2012. There ended up being five seasons. Essentially, with this show, what it was um, this guy just was living a normal life, and his buddy ended up being in the CIA and sent him these encrypted messages that like have all the government secrets in it. So he kind of sees someone and all of a sudden it'll click in his brain like, hey, this person's bad or they're on the government's most wanted list or whatever. So it was kind of like a like CSI type thing with a little different of a spin, but definitely was a good show. Yvonne Stravosky was on it. I don't know if you know who that is, but she's an absolute babe. So that was another reason to be watching it. So
No, I don't think I've actually ever seen that show. What'd you say? The Office, and then what was the second one you said?
Big Bang
Oh, Big
Theory.
Bang Theory. Yeah, my uncle, when I used to live with my uncle, just to finish out high school, he loved watching Big Bang Theory, but he only liked watching it for Kaylee Cuoco.
Oh yeah.
So with due time, I also started was like, oh, Kaylee Cuoco's she's pretty, yeah, she's cool. Let me just start watching this show just for Kaylee Cuoco, and
Yeah.
then I kind of was like laughing every now and then, But the show, it was a good show. It's a good show, but I might have to check out Chuck. That sounds like a good show.
Yeah. I said I don't know where if it's on any sort of streaming. I just have the DVDs because I started enjoying it so much that I started buying all the seasons. But don't really like the end as much. Not to give too many spoilers, but I think it kind of just wasn't expected to be planned or ended as it did. But
Hmm.
besides that, it was still a great show. Great show.
Okay, okay, okay.
So now, Murph, we kind of talked about, TV shows. what are some of your favorite reality TV shows?
Okay, so when you say reality, right? Because I don't think I watch a lot of reality TV. Like, do sitcoms count as reality TV shows, or is it like shows that are like Real Housewives of Atlanta?
More shows like Real House of Atlanta, like Survivor, Amazing Race, Big
Hmm.
Brother,
Okay. Okay.
those type of shows. Love Island or whatever that new hit one is that I've actually never watched myself, but those type of shows.
Hmm. Okay. I think I'll go Bear Grylls because Bear Grylls. I don't know if that count. I think that counts as reality
Yeah,
TV
I would
because he was.
consider that reality TV.
I absolutely loved that show. I mean, I've watched every single episode from like not when it first aired, but you remember back in the day, if you had Comcast, it could show you like the whole day's worth of
Oh
programming.
yep, yep,
It
yep,
would
yep,
show you, you know what I mean, with that big ass gray remote with the different colored buttons on it.
yep.
So I would go on Discovery Channel and I would set TV alarms because back in the day, on this big ass fat TV we had, you could set this TV alarm on, and all it would do is just pop up a notification. So I would just write a post-it note, put it on top of like my Xbox or whatever, and, and then I'd just play the game. Check the time. It's like, oh shit, it's Bear Grylls time. I'd sit there and make myself a little Ayo's pizza,
Okay.
and just sit there and watch Bear Grylls for the next like 4 hours. Um, I loved watching Chopped a lot when I was younger. I've always been into cooking. Now I say to myself that I do the poor man's food because that's like my favorite thing to do. Even when I meal prep, it's so simple. It's just a couple of ounces of broccoli, a thing of protein pasta, and some meat seasoned no specific way, just how whatever I'm feeling in the time. So I always say I make a poor man's meal prep, and I can make a banging poor man's meal. Um, Chopped is definitely one of them, and Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay is the only reason I know how to cook a proper steak. He taught me how to make a steak, and I've retained that skill since I was like 13. I was making steaks and shit. So now I make a really good steak almost a decade later. Yeah, thank you, Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay, real MVP, real MVP out
Right.
there.
I'll put these two pieces of bread around your head. What does that make you?
An idiot
Tell me.
sandwich. Oh.
All right, Vicious, you tell me, what are your top three reality TV shows?
Whew. See, two and three are going to be like, or I guess I wouldn't say two or three. I just gotta think. But my number one for sure is Survivor. I still watch that all the time. I don't think I have not watched a season of Survivor in the entire time it's been out. For I think they what did they just get done with 40 episode season 43. So
What
in
the heck?
43 seasons, I don't think I've maybe missed one season, and I think that's because at that point in time when I was like kind of moving in college and stuff like that, I didn't have TV, so I wasn't able to watch it. And I think my parents had got rid of their like direct TV, so I couldn't watch their recordings. So
Mm,
I think I said maybe there was one season that I have not watched. In the whole 43, 44, whatever. I'm trying to remember what season they're even on. Like it's been going on so that long. But I just love that show. I don't know what it is about it. I actually even thought about applying. I kind of started putting stuff together to apply and then never did. And now I'm kind of at the point like, do I want to retry? But I think it'd be kind of cool. I don't like. I say to myself, I could survive, but definitely I just see it. I'm like, I would have to get in some better shape and stuff like that to even compete with some of these people. But that's the nice thing about that show is there's so many different people from so many different walks of life with so many different body types. There's physical, there's strategy, there's mental. Pretty much living in the wild with very minimal stuff. And especially too the newer seasons, they've been kind of giving them less and less. So like you really like pushing it to the limit. But it's a great show. Whenever that show ends, I think I'm gonna be hurting for a little bit because I'm not gonna know what to do with my life. Not watching it it's 2 times a year. My other favorite reality, I don't watch it as much anymore, but Amazing Race, used to watch that a lot too. It's kind of cool to watch them go to all these different places and doing all these different challenges and only having like maps and stuff like that to get to the places or have to communicate with people. So it's kind of cool just to see people try and you get on a flight all of a sudden. Okay, now you're flying to this place. Good luck. It's like what?
Right.
And then you like land and it's like
Crazy.
all hell breaks loose, and then you go back and all hell breaks loose. Like so, it's pretty fun just to watch that, and then like just watching them, and it was just crazy. Probably my third. I'm as you know, I'm kind of a very picky eater, uh, but I do like the diners, drive-ins, and dives. Just kind of cool to
Ooh.
watch that show. Watch all the different places they go and they see. It's kind of cool to see all of that. Kind of see all the different places, especially too when you see a place that's like around your hometown or whatever like that, or somewhere that's fairly close that you've kind of drove past before. It's kind of cool to see all these places and see all their what these certain places, what their biggest meals are and what their best thing is. So kind of cool little spotlight and stuff like that. I mean, there's this place I
Right.
used to go when I lived in Utah that was on it, and like I went to that place so often. Their onion rings were just fantastic, but just kind of cool to watch. Like I said, you see it on the show, and then you're actually like, oh, I've ate there before. So very cool to see. Uh, Definitely. But yeah, that would probably be my top three, reality shows. Like I said, I used to watch them a lot more when I was had more like cable and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But since then, like, haven't really watched as much of them.
Have you ever seen a show that's called Alone?
It's similar to Naked and Afraid, correct?
They're not naked in it, but like it's these people, right? So they solo dolo have to go to these places and basically survive with whatever they have.
Okay.
Um, I personally, I love that.
Okay.
I've seen all of it. Um, from season one to their latest season, and then it kind of just like it didn't become redundant. It was just the contestants started making it really boring, and it's a cool show because you get to watch people go from super confident to they go out fishing one day and there's literally no fish in the river because they place you by a body of water.
Yeah.
They give you some help in certain areas, but majority of it you got to do yourself. And then these guys are so creative. I mean, Vish, they'll make these like bungalows or whatever out of mud and wood, and you're like, bro, where did you learn that? What? And
Well,
it's just cool to see people's thought process and their mental go from completely confident to boom into survival mode immediately. And there's some crazy stuff that happens in that show, and they got to come get evac or whatever the case may be. But it's such a cool show. You should try that one too.
okay, I'll have to look at it. Yeah, it seems very similar. Like, I mean, Survivor, you're putting their body to the limits. It's just like I said, crazy some of the stuff they have to do in that show. Crazy to think about it. So, but yeah, definitely something that I'll have to give a look at, get a little look see what's about it. Okay,
Definitely, you should.
now Murph, we're moving to the movie side, the movie topics here. So, what is your kind of give me your top three maybe movies? We'll kind of break. We're gonna just do kind of our favorite movies, and then we're gonna kind of break it down into as well as like our kind of favorite genre of movies. But what would be your kind of top three or top five movies?
Okay, so I might have to go top five. We'll see where this list takes me.
Okay.
So first, definitely has to be the original Avatar movie, 100%. The Navi people. I've watched that movie, Vicious. When I tell you when the second one came out, I genuinely watched Avatar and then Way of the Water directly after Bang and Bang for probably every time I came home from work. Like I'm an iPad baby, even though I was born in like '98. I'm still an iPad baby. So when I used to go to bed, my mom would never ever go to bed without the TV. So as I got older, even to this day, I can't fall asleep without watching a YouTube video on my phone, or having the TV on, and sometimes both. So when I eat, that's my specific time. Like, what you like to eat, you're very specific on. If I'm on the phone with somebody and I'm sitting down to eat, I'm like, yeah, let me call you back. I gotta watch a show while I eat. So I'll sit there while I eat. I'll watch Avatar 1, and then I'll get up, go to the TV, and watch Avatar 2. So not Way of the Water. Way of the Water is really good too. Don't get me wrong, but that original one, that's my number one movie. Number two, it's gotta be Home Alone.
Good one.
Or no. I think it's no, not Home Alone. I think it's no. Okay, so Home Alone is another one that I've watched a billion times. So I will put that in there, but maybe it's not number two, but it's definitely there. And then the one is called the Dennis the Menace movie, but the one where the guy takes him to like under a bridge and there's water, and the guy looks hella weird, and he's eating beans with a knife by the fireplace. That's my favorite Dennis the Menace movie.
Okay. I'm not
Um,
sure which one that is, or I've never really seen much of the Dennis Menace movies, so.
it's one. I think it's the original one where Mr. Wilson. It was with the old guy with the really big nose.
Okay.
Number four. See, so I'm gonna have to throw in a little bit of the movies from Bollywood, some of my culture in there. There's this movie that's called Hera Peri, which is kind of like how do I directly translate Hera Peri? It's like sneaky business, or like something's fishy.
Okay.
Um, but Hera Peri and Pit Hera Peri, those are the pinnacle of my favorite Bollywood movies, and I watched that movie so many times. Vicious, it's like so childishly hilarious. That's why I love that movie so much. And then number five has to be The Incredibles for me. I Incredibles is one of my favorite Disney movies from when I was a child,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
What
Okay.
about you, Vicious? Give me your top three, top five.
I'm gonna probably not have them in any order, just because all of them are so different from each other. Um, Step Brothers, just instant classic. I absolutely like. I could probably quote that movie from start to finish. Um, it's I just don't know why. It's been a while since I've seen it. I absolutely love it. It's a great movie. Definitely up there. That's definitely my top five. It's probably in the top three, to be honest with you, but definitely up there in my list of movies. Ready Player One. I'm not sure if you've ever watched that.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a fantastic movie. For the of you who don't know, Ready Player One. It's pretty much um, essentially it's like a how there's all the new Oculus and stuff like that. It's when you put on this, you pretty much go into another world essentially. You're in a whole bodysuit. You're on like a little platform that moves while you move. So if you're running, you have to, this treadmill is like multi-directional, so it runs with you. And you like harness yourself in. There's like bodysuits that like can, if you have enough money. But it's pretty much like essentially a lot of people. It's like super futuristic, but it's a great show. It's cool to see all like the little cameos of different characters and stuff like that they have through the movie. I really love watching that type of stuff. I really like it. It's video game based, which we have talked about video games a lot on this channel, but definitely is a very cool with a bunch of different Easter eggs. If I had to go another movie, it wasn't actually I watched it until here recent. Oh, I guess I want to say recently, within the last 5-10 years. Even when it wasn't kind of the new thing, but Anchorman. Anchorman's another one.
Oh,
Uh,
that's
Will
cool.
Ferrell. I think he's a great actor. I know there's some people that absolutely hate him, just can't stand his comedy, and there's some people that absolutely love him. Most movies I watch with Will Ferrell, I absolutely love. We talked about The Office. Unfortunately, I wasn't a big fan when he was on The Office because I feel like it was just trying too much. trying to make him like Michael Scott, which it wasn't. But most of his movies I absolutely love. If Will Ferrell's in it, it's one of my probably pretty one of my favorites. Uh, if I had to say, mm, Dumb and Dumber, I think is another one of my top of my up there. Dumb and Dumber is I like a lot of comedy and stuff like that. So especially that dry humor, Dumb and Dumber has some great stuff. Some of me and my buddies will always just quote it. Like half the time when one of us are leaving, we'll be like, "Well, big gulps, eh? Well, see you later." Just we'll just quote that movie and quote stuff from it. So kind of fun to watch that stuff and see that type of stuff. I'm kind of into that. And if I had to pick my last, I'm probably going Avengers Endgame. Big superhero person. I absolutely love that movie. It was a great, fantastic movie. It was a great end to all like that build up of that 10 years of movies, and all the characters coming in, introducing more, introducing less. But I think Endgame was probably would probably round out that list. There's a lot of movies I could probably keep naming on and on and on, and then you start thinking the movies. But if I had to say, that would probably be my top five that I can think of off the top of my head, with for sure Endgame, Ready Player One, and Step Brothers for sure probably being that top three list.
Okay. Okay. That's a pretty solid list right there.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. So Murph, kind of let us know. I mean, we know you're a big anime person, but what's your favorite type genre of movies and TV shows?
So I'll go. Okay, I'll give like a top 3 to 5. Number one obviously has to be anime, but the thing with anime is, when you watch too much anime consecutively, you start getting tired of it, and you need like a break from it. So I'll go anime. I love comedy series for both movies and TV shows, but I can also appreciate, like a serious one, kind of like Burn Notice.
Okay.
My uncle loved Burn Notice, and I was like, such a dumb show. Then I started watching it, and I really liked that show. I get excited when it came on. And comedy, like George Lopez. Oh man, I loved that show so much. I would get off of the game just to go watch it at 9 p.m. at night on my weekends. I'll say I love horror movies, especially recently since me and our boy Pure Apollo, Aaron, have been having movie nights basically every night. We watch a horror movie every night, and then, as you know, I just had Loof over for like a week or two, and we watched the entire Paranormal Activity series in the director's chronological order, how the directors wanted you to watch it.
Okay.
And if I may add, that is a artistic cinematic masterpiece. Everything ties together, and like you'll watch the first 3 movies, and then later on you're sitting there like pausing the movie, trying to collaborate with one another, be something like, wait, wasn't that person in this movie? Oh my gosh, now it all makes sense. Like things like a eureka moment, and I
Right.
love those.
Okay.
That's a cool thing to have, especially in a show or a movie. Um, I do like Bollywood is kind of a weird, but I'll put that down as a genre
Okay.
because Bollywood movies can be comedy. Most of them are romantic movies, but every now and then you'll find those romance comedy movies that are really good. There's this one movie that's called Chup Chup Ke, which means quietly move or like quietly do.
Okay.
And the first 45 minutes of that movie, I'll watch that if I'm having a really bad day. I'll just watch the first 45 minutes of that movie, and oh my god, it's so funny, Vish. It is so funny. Um, Number 5. Huh. What? Okay, so what genre is Little Miss Sunshine?
I could not tell you. I have no idea.
Dang it!
Let's see.
It's not romantic. It's not like
Let's see here.
Can't like super serious either.
What genre is? What was the name?
Little Miss Sunshine.
Little Miss Sunshine. Let's see here. Well, Little Miss Sunshine is considered a comedy, road, comedy, drama, adventure, and drama. So, all sorts of different ones.
Okay, well, ah, whatever genre that movie is, I do. I really enjoy that movie a lot. So I'll put all those genres in at number five.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
What about you, Viciosis?
my my favorite genres, um, as I kind of talked about, superhero movies. Superheroes
Mm.
are kind of my one of my big things. I love watching those. You know, pretty much I have Disney Plus and HBO Max just to watch the superhero stuff that they put on all the time. I've been kind of recently going through Disney Plus and watching some of the older like animated type things as well. Like I went been going through and watching like the Spider-Man TV show that was released in what was that, like 1994, 95, somewhere around there. So kind of been going watching through some of that old ones. I know like Disney Plus is about to release the X-Men animated series that kind of ended, so they're going to start making new episodes for that. So I'll probably go through and watch some of that. Like I said, I've seen bits and pieces of these just growing up, watching them on TV, so I've kind of been going through watching that type of stuff. But yeah, definitely superheroes, comedy, as you saw from my kind of favorite movie list. I'm a big comedy person. Uh, Love just watching any comedy make me laugh. Whether it's the stupid dull humor or there's those little witty lines every once in a while. I'm a big fan of comedy just because it makes you laugh, make you smile, makes you have a good day. Plus, it also makes good jokes, and I always seem to be able to quote those a lot more because I remember them a lot more.
Right.
And then I like sci-fi too. I know superheroes can be considered in the sci-fi category, but I love sci-fi. I love watching like the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbits. I do I've been watching all the new Star Wars stuff. Been watching Star Wars for the longest time. Mandalorian is a great season. Ahsoka is about to come out, which I'm really excited for. But those would kind of probably be my favorite three genres if I had to pick any. Like I said, I feel like these genres though, there's so many different more. There's action, there's all that stuff. There's a lot of good genres, but those would probably be my kind of top three of what I'm usually always watching.
Okay, that's a
Now,
solid list,
now let's
Viciosis.
let's flip this around. What's your kind of least favorite genre? Like, what are movies that you typically do not watch?
I don't like rom coms. That's for sure. I like to consider myself a giant teddy bear, so when I watch something sad, I'm very susceptible to crying.
Okay.
So I kind of stay away from those type of movies, like The Notebook or what was that one Tom Hanks movie with the Butch, his Doug that ended up dying?
Oh,
That made
I can't think of the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
you know what I mean? Like I don't like those movies. I won't say I hate them, but I don't like them because they end up making me super sad, and then I just stay sad for the whole day. I'm like, yeah, no. Like when I watched Harriet Tubman, she came back from saving a bunch of people just to find out her husband got another woman pregnant. I was in the movie theater with somebody, and I was just like, oh my god, that's got to be so heartbreaking.
Oh yeah.
I make everything, I make everything so personal. So I kind of stay away from those type of movies. I don't like those horror movies. I love horror as a genre, but there are some horror movies that I don't like where they kind of ruin the power of imagination.
Okay.
And I think that's the beauty of watching a scary movie is that your imagination is going to make you think of 1,000 different possibilities, and you're like in your head watching it, like, okay, the jump scare is going to happen now. It doesn't happen. You're like, okay, it's going to happen now. Doesn't happen yet. And then when you least expect it, that's when the jump scare happens. But there's some movies out there that just kind of just throw jump scares at you, and it's quite like, why did you not think about this part? Like, what's going on here? Why didn't
Yeah.
you try to build some suspense? And you're not even leaving anything up to imagination. You're just showing me everything. Those are the things I do not like. That's just me personally.
Okay.
What about you, Viciosus? What are some things that you don't like?
Honestly, I hate horror movies. I've never liked them. I'm a big I am a big scaredy cat. I mean, um, like I Am Legend is one movie I absolutely love, but as a kid, like there's parts I always had to skip or just could I had to watch it midday so my mind wasn't on it by night. Like those creatures and stuff like that would like, and that's a very calm, scary. That's not even real. Like it's more of an action. It's not even like meant to be fully scary movie, but like
Yeah.
that bugged me. Like so, like I don't watch scary movies. I think the last scary movie I watched was oh gosh, what is that movie? I don't think it was more much as a scary. It was more considered a thriller. Um, but I was what is it? It's there was a lady that would throw house parties. She was a kind of bigger black lady. I feel like it was just one name.
I'm talking about.
I can't.
I'm talking about. And then she ended up like murdering all the kids in the party or whatever.
Yeah, like she murdered
Yeah.
them and like pretty much locked them away in her basement. Yes, that. Or then there was the girl that was left upstairs in like her bedroom, like couldn't come out of the bedroom or whatever. Uh, I can't think of what it was. It was released in like not too long ago, maybe in the last like 5 years. I just can't think of the name. Like even that, like I was okay with it, but I didn't really enjoy. Uh, so I don't really like those. And then westerns as well. I'm not a big fan of like western type style movies. Like if it's an action movie that has like a small western scene, I'm okay with it. But I've never been a big fan of just like western type shows um, or movies, I guess in general. So
Okay.
and then we've kind of talked a little bit about this. We kind of talked some cartoons and stuff like that. But like growing up, Murph, what was your favorite cartoon or some of your favorite cartoons to watch? I know you've kind of addressed some of them, but kind of what were some of your favorites?
I'll definitely have to go with SpongeBob as number one. And this one is gonna have to be a top five for sure. And there's so many. Like I'm sure we could both sit here, take up the next about 10 solid minutes just listing our favorite
Oh, I agree.
uh TV shows with children and why. Definitely SpongeBob. Um I'm gonna put Jimmy Neutron and Timmy Turner in the save
Okay.
space, and also because they did a couple episodes as a collab episode.
Those are
Um
fire episodes. Fire episodes.
those were amazing episodes. Trying to think of like Cartoon Network, Disney Channel shows that I used to watch too, because I used to watch a lot of Nickelodeon. Danny Phantom, I loved that show. I still watch that on Paramount Plus. I still watch that show. Um, have to definitely go with Cat Doug. Cat Doug, I
Cat
used to watch.
dog. Cat dog.
I just loved that dynamic of them being stuck together, and there was a cat and a Doug, and oh my god, I love that show so much. And then Numero cinco, probably have to make Courage the Cowardly Dog. But I used to be scared of that show as a child. So I had to grow up a little bit. So I'd realize, like, bro, what am I so scared of? And then I started really enjoying it. But before that, that was my shit.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of Courage the Coward Dog. I think again it was that kind of scared factor too, even though it wasn't really that scary of a show. So
Yeah. What about you, Vicioso?
I think I have to kind of go the same. The SpongeBob, the Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, definitely good shows. Um, and around that time too, growing up, cartoon. You had some of the cartoon movies, some of the greatest, some of the ones that always get talked about. You had like Lion King and all the all those Pixar Disney movies that were coming out at the time that are still classics. I guess they weren't coming around that time, but had some more coming out around there. One of my top favorites. It's one that it kind of gets forgotten about. But Rocket Power. Rocket Power was my
Ooh.
shit. That that movie, that show was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It was just kids doing different sports and all this other stuff. I couldn't skate worth a dang, but Rocket Power was definitely a great show.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
And then kind of question I just even kind of thought of what was kind of your just kind of favorite like shows, or what did you watch a lot of like growing up? Was there any like other animated or action or whatever movies that you enjoy outside of the cartoons?
Um, George Lopez definitely was one of them. Trying to think of what they had on Nick at Night that I really enjoyed. Tim the Toolman Taylor, Home Improvement. I
Okay.
really loved that show a lot. My Wife and Kids, Married with Children. What else was there? Martin. I grew up on Martin. Bruh man from the fourth floor. He would break into his house just to get a sandwich and then go right back out the fire escape. It's, Get the step in. I'm trying to think of the other ones. I think that's all I can think of right now, to be honest. A little bit of Friends. Oh, Everybody Hates Chris. That's a shout. Tell you, that's a great show too. That's 5 cent worth of spilt milk. Somebody better drink this. Oh my gosh, that's a shout. Yes, sir. I think that's about it for me. There's a lot more, but that's really all I can think of at the moment.
Okay.
What about you, Vicious?
With me, I would still watch some of the superhero ones. It was more like kind of like the Spider-Man, like I said, rewatching, seeing little bits of that, different things like that. Still superheroes as I was growing up, watching some of those superhero shows. I used to watch the crap out of Power Rangers. Um,
Oh yeah.
and I don't. A lot of people don't remember this one as much because it was kind of the knockoff of Power Rangers, but Beetleborgs. I don't know
Oh,
if
I don't even.
like it was pretty much the knockoff of Power Rangers. There was three kids that had powers and stuff like that, and they got armor suits. Um, they had like a song that I guess it was, I can't remember if it was Beetleborg or if it was called Big Bag Beetleborgs, because I remember the song like it was just yesterday. I could probably sing half of it like without even conscious, and I haven't seen that show in probably 20 years at least, and I can still just quote that show. So. But definitely, like I said, it was very similar to Power Rangers. Um, yeah, that was kind of and then apparently, I always hear this story. Apparently, when I was very very young, I was apparently an avid Barney watcher. Apparently, my
Oh,
mom said she could put me in front of the TV if she had anything to do, and she could just put on Barney for the next 3 or 4 hours, and I would just sit there just watching it. Like she wouldn't have to be afraid that I moved or anything like that because my eyes would just be glued to the TV watching Barney. So that was kind of one that apparently I absolutely loved, but I don't can't remember a single thing about it. So
okay. Okay.
you know, and then we kind of talking cartoons. Kind of going back around. Kind of full circle. Kind of what cartoons are you kind of currently watching, Murph? Is there any ones that you kind of still watch? I know you said you watch Danny Phantom still, but is there any other ones that you kind of still go back through and watch?
Yeah, I still watch because Paramount Plus has a lot of those shows that we used to watch as kids. So I'll watch SpongeBob still. I watch Danny Phantom. I'll still watch some Jimmy Neutron, some Fairly Odd Parents. Um, every now and then I'll watch some Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. But see, that show when I was younger, I was scared of Grim. So I didn't watch it as much. But now I'm older, and I really enjoy those episodes because Billy is kind of like my spirit animal. I feel like I'm Billy 100% of the time, just just in my own world, just doing stuff, making up my own words. Billy's the type of kid that you tell him the stovetop is hot when it's red, and he puts his hand on it, and he's still like, "He's not hot," and then it starts burning, and he does that little scream. Oh, I love that show too, man. Yeah, I think that's really the only shows from our childhood that I really have been still watching.
Okay. Okay.
What about you? Are you still watching any of those cartoons that we used to watch?
I haven't watched them a lot just because I didn't have a whole lot, but definitely there is some good ones. Cartoons that I'm watching currently. Kind of goes back to what I've been talking about. Is just kind of all the similar things. Marvel What If. I absolutely love. It's a great show. If any of you haven't seen it, it's pretty much alternate realities. So, hey, what if this were to happen? What if Stephen Strange didn't in the car wreck lost his his heart instead of his hands, where his love interest dies. There's a bunch of just different things. So those are some great cartoons, as well as I kind of talked about Star Wars earlier. There's the Bad Batch, which is pretty much an offspin of the Clone Wars TV series, and the Clone Wars TV series was amazing. If no one's seen that yet, I absolutely watched that. First kind of seasons I feel like take a little bit, but that last season, especially the last 4 episodes, is just straight fire. I absolutely love it. I need to go back through and watch that last season. But yeah, like I said, I've been watching Bad Batches, which is like a off of the thing. It's pretty much bad Clone Wars or defected clones that look different than the other clones. So it is definitely a um, great cartoon. Like I said, I sometimes will watch SpongeBob or any of those if it comes across the TV, but never have kind of watched those. So, but
Okay.
we're kind of getting towards the end of our episode. So, anybody in chat, if you have any questions that you want us to answer, make sure you put those in chat. While we're waiting for those to kind of come through, Murph, it's that time. What is your question of the day? What question you got for us?
So my question of the day actually came from chat. Our boy Josh asked a really good question earlier, and I really wanted to include that in this episode. So he said, favorite bad movies. So your top three bad movies. So like, what's a movie that you can acknowledge that okay, this movie is bad. Like this is a terrible movie, but I thoroughly enjoy it. So even if you can just name one to two, doesn't have to be a top three because I don't know a lot of people. I know that's Josh's thing. Josh likes to watch funny movies like that are produced horribly and things like that. He enjoys that, but um, that's kind of niche. So if you have any, let me know. Viciosis.
Who? Um, I think um, what it. I can't think of what it was called. It was so bad. It was good. It was like it was similar to Scary Movie, but it was an off. Gosh, what was that movie called? It was pretty much it was making fun of so much different movies. There was like there I guess there was a couple of those. There was one that was like making fun of like Narnia and different things of that. Why can I not think of what that the name of? But they were it's just that dumb humor where they're making fun of the all the different movies and aspects of it. And God, what was that? I gotta look this up. I gotta remember what the name of the one movie was. Um, Let me see if I can. Why I'm looking up. What is yours, Murph? What are yours?
I think. Trying to think. Trying to think. I think What's that Jim Carrey movie, The Cable Guy?
I'm not sure.
There's a Jim Carrey movie. Well, I mean, the only thing that's good about that movie is Jim Carrey. The production is horrible. The edits are choppy. I think it was one of like his first movies. But Jim Carrey's acting was always amazing and is still amazing, and I love watching a Jim Carrey movie. I think Ace Ventura, the first one, the production on that one isn't too good. I mean, he comes out of a plastic rhino, and you can clearly tell that it's a plastic rhino. You can tell. So I think Ace Ventura is another one of those that I will still watch to this day. Um, and even in that scene where they're at the dock, you can just see all the little things in the background and things like that. Like you can see like the foot of like a cameraman and like the side of a camera in in the shot. So I think those are my shits, honestly.
Okay.
Those are
So
definitely
the movies that I were thinking of are Meet the Spartans, epic movie, and disaster movie. Essentially, they're movies that make fun of other movies, but they're so awful because they're making fun of other movies that they're so hilarious. But I just those movies they're ones that I've watched so much, and it's just funny to watch those. And I mean, all the scary movies too. Like I don't mind those. Like I know it says but like they're making fun of horror movies. But I think that's what's funny about it is because it is making fun of horror movies. But those are probably some of mine that are like, okay, that is so awful. Like they're so stupid. But epic movie is the one that I was thinking of that makes fun of Narnia. Just watching that one, it's just so, um, it's so stupidly funny that you're just watching. You're like, what am I watching? But they're so stupid that they're good because you understand. Like, if you have never watched any of those movies, and that's the thing is, some of the movies that they reference, I don't understand. So, but I know what it comes from, but I haven't seen it. So it's just like this makes no sense. Like, what all of a sudden are these kids doing in Narnia that have nothing to do with Narnia? Like, so it's just funny stuff like that. So, but that would probably be my bad movies essentially.
okay. Okay.
So.
Okay.
But it looks like we're here at the final episode. Doesn't look like we have any more questions. We appreciate Hunk and Josh. We appreciate you guys tuning in, being here for the episode. Josh, we appreciate you gave Murph our question of his question of the day. So we appreciate you guys. As always, if you guys have any ideas for us, any topics that you think we should do, let us know. Here on YouTube comments, like we always do, we post it the next day. If you have, what are your favorite movies? What are some of the questions we asked? Favorite movies, favorite cartoons? Kind of let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. But until next time, we appreciate all you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys later.
Peace.